Okay, good. Thank you. Well, what the Lord put on my heart for today is to share a little bit of my journey and some of the songs that He's given me. My husband, Michael, and I are songwriters. We actually met in a songwriting class. We were attracted to each other's lyrics. I also was rather fond of red hair and freckles, so, you know. I'm a Jewish believer, a Messianic Jew, a Hebrew Christian, a fulfilled Jew, a completed Jew, a born-again Jew. I'm a Jew. And we write stories, story songs, and so a lot of these that I'm going to share with you are stories about how God comes to meet us where we are. And this next song is a story, and it's the story of one man's dream, dream given him by God. And I think that all of us are born with dreams. Ephesians talks about it as those good works that God has prepared in advance for us to do. There are many other dreams. There are our parents' dreams and our teachers' dreams and our spouses' dreams and our own dreams. But there are dreams that God has actually created us with, designed us with. And those are the dreams we most want to dream and step into. And sometimes it's hard to step into those dreams because we find ourselves so wounded. But God is faithful to finish what He starts, even if our eyes are not seeing the finish. He was just an old painter of houses. In his heart he was oh so much more. He dreamed of the galleries he'd someday fill as he touched up the trim round a door. He was blessed with the heart of an artist, but cursed with a lumberjack's hands. He spoke in a language with brushes and oils the canvas could not understand. Now he had a way with the roller, and his pride in the workmanship spoke to the township whose homes he had covered, who saw life in simple broad strokes. He held up his hand so expansive and cried, Lord, it just isn't fair. Why can't I set down a skyline? Why can't I still life a pair? That night God answered his prayer. You'll paint a sunset someday with colors that won't fade away. Be still and listen, I'll give you my vision, and you'll paint a sunset someday. But he didn't wait for God's leading, like an embryo skipping the womb. He went out and purchased supplies he would need, and for months locked himself in his room. He was tired of patience and wisdom, like a child determined to play. and the story in both local papers said his heart overcame him one day, not before he could hear someone say, "You'll paint a sunset someday with colors that won't fade away. Be still and listen, I'll give you my vision, and you'll paint a sunset someday." The service was quite well attended. They came to say thanks and goodbye. When pressed for some personal stories, no one had much to supply. And slowly, a sad revelation, they felt deep conviction and cried for the man who had brightened their lives so was never invited inside. I stood up and said I had known him, that I'd been his apprentice 2 years. And while we were sanding and prepping, he told me his dreams and his fears. I don't understand his obsession. All I know is James had true heart. Didn't matter that he lacked the talent. Didn't bother him, he wasn't smart. With these words, the Lord set him apart. You'll paint a sunset someday with colors that won't fade away. Be still and listen, I'll give you my vision, and you'll paint a sunset someday. We all left the church and proceeded to a hilltop with luscious green sod. We went there to honor an artist. We went there to be close to God. We focused our solemn attention on the unfolding Polaroid skies. I saw hues which had never been blended, dancing dreams on a canvas of cries. In that moment, impossible beauty was the tender which purchased our hearts. In the receding skyline, I swear I saw this sunset by James Leonard Parks. He was just an old painter of houses, but he left me with more than a trade. I turned in my brush for a hammer and saw construction pays better these days. And I hear through the dawn's early rays, you'll build a kingdom someday with souls that won't fade away. Be still and listen, I'll give you my vision, and you'll build a kingdom someday.